Greetings! I'm Teek, and this is the show where I go over things that were of interest to me in the last week. Fortunately, I have a great many interests, so there's probably something for you here too. Or there would be if the coronavirus wasn't dominating pretty much everything in the world right now. This week, Disney announced that they've postponed the release of their upcoming live-action Mulan movie, previously set for March 27th. Mulan joins Fast and Furious 9 and A Quiet Place Part 2, among others, on a list of movies that have been delayed by the outbreak. And of course, it comes to little surprise that The New Mutants, previously scheduled for April 3rd, is also getting pushed back. Again, making this the 6th delay since the film was shot in 2017. At this point, it kind of feels like some kind of time traveler is desperate to keep this movie out of theaters and is invoking increasingly extreme measures to do so. Meanwhile, it seems that no convention will be spared. E3, scheduled for June 9th through 11th, has officially been cancelled for 2020, leaving a question of whether it will return at all, as major platform developers have been shying away from the expo for a few years now. Likewise, WonderCon, which was set to happen next month in Anaheim, has been postponed to a yet-to-be-determined date. Still no word on what this may mean for Comic-Con International next July. Comic-Con has been working with officials in San Diego, but no decision has been made yet. And even the parks are shutting down. Both Universal Studios Hollywood and Disneyland announced this week that their parks will be closed down through at least the end of the month. This marks the 4th time in Disneyland's history that the park is closed, with previous closures happening in response to the assassination of JFK, a mass protest in 1970, and the 9/11 attacks. The announcement was soon followed by closures on the East Coast, as Disney World, Universal Studios Orlando, Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld also declared March shutdowns. Meanwhile, in a bit of positive news, ISPs are throwing a bone to customers that decide this is a good time for a good old-fashioned Netflix binge while waiting out the virus. AT&T announced that they will be suspending their Datacap penalties for the immediate future, offering unlimited internet data to their wired and fixed wireless customers. Comcast quickly followed suit, offering Wi-Fi hotspots across the country, which seems counterproductive, but also suspending their caps on data plans. Other ISPs across the country are making similar policies, suspending data caps, increasing bandwidths, and offering low-income options in anticipation of the increased usage. Weird. Removing data caps during a time of increased data consumption? It's almost like the ISPs were always capable of handling this load and that those data caps were never necessary in the first place. Of course, there's no use in having unlimited internet if there's nothing to watch. Fortunately, Disney has a gift for parents facing a weekend home with their kids. By the time this video goes live, Frozen 2 should be available for viewing on Disney+, hitting the service 3 months earlier than anticipated. But if you do absolutely have to go to the theaters for a new movie, I guess you could go see Deerskin, a horror comedy about a guy whose jacket drives him past the edge of sanity because why not? If you are staying home, premiering this week on HBO is Westworld Season 3. I haven't actually seen the show, but it doesn't really seem to be much about the Wild West anymore. Roswell, New Mexico is back on the CW this week for its 2nd season. I kinda forgot this was still a thing, but I'm sure it's somebody's bag. On Netflix, Altered Carbon Re-Sleeved is an animated companion series to the sci-fi hit, so I guess we've got one show about machines becoming human and another about humans becoming machines. Also on Netflix, The Letter for the King is a neat-looking fantasy epic about a group of teenagers delivering some mail, but, you know, with swords and magic and stuff. Moving into video games, international travel isn't shut down when it comes to catching Carmen Sandiego. Travel the world in this Steam port of the Learning Company's 2001 PC game, not to be confused with the 1985 original or its 1996 remake. For this week's RPG Maker entry, Heroines of Swords and Spells is a cute and pretty elaborate looking JRPG. And what the heck, let's do another. A Plunge into Darkness offers some nice art and promises some dark environments and spooky scares. For this week's biggest release, Doom 64 is making its way to PC and consoles this week, bringing the best first-person horror shooter on the N64 to a new generation. Of course, there's also Doom Eternal if you want something that's a little more modern. Also heading to PC and consoles, it's basically the same game, just a little prettier, right? Over on the Epic Game Store, this week's free games include Anodyne 2, a theoretically 3D platformer, though it can't seem to decide what genre it really wants to be. A Short Hike is more 3D environment exploration, although I imagine there's a game in there somewhere too. And then there's Mutazone, a game that's apparently a mutant soap opera, so that's a thing. Out this week on the Switch is Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Really, what better time could there be for a game about living on a deserted island? That leaves us with this week's awesome video. Video Game Donkey and Reggie Fils-Aimé, who recently joined the GameStop board of directors, came together for informative tips on how to get through this COVID-19 epidemic.
Please, whatever you do, do not dress up like a Smurf and attend a gigantic Smurf rally with thousands of other people.
That's everything for this week, so how much will staying inside all day change your life? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and maybe give me a like if you think I earned it. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great week!